really try to go in directions that I haven't really gone in previous appointments, and oh my gosh, so many things that I've never really explored.
Appearing white text that says welcome to, a logo Seeing Blind, an image of Cindy, a white arrow hovers over subscribe and notification bell.
Welcome to Seeing Blind. My name is Cindy in case you're new here, and I have Stargardt's disease. Today is my low vision assessment. Again, I do it annually, at least as much as I am able to. I did this last year. I invited you in on the journey and just shared my progress so far with my sight loss and how it's progressed over the years. For those who may not know me very well, just to recap, I started losing my vision around age 5. I was legally blind by age 11. And I probably experienced another significant sight loss in my mid-30s or so when I started having children. And so now I am far enough down that blindness spectrum that, like I said in my last video last year, honestly, I don't feel like acuity and the numbers really matter so much anymore. They change from day to day as well. There's different environmental and physiological factors such as sleep, such as fatigue and headaches. All those things impact my vision from day to day, and again, that acuity number is just going to fluctuate all over the place anyway. Nevertheless, I still want to advocate how important it is to get your low vision assessments when you can annually. That way you are aware where you are sitting approximately on the spectrum of blindness, and it also allows you to communicate a little bit more clearly with a little bit more accuracy to others what you see and can't see. It's just really good self-awareness. I just realized I'm happy and smiling at this eye doctor appointment, and I want to just put this out there. There's been many eye doctor appointments. I have been extremely anxious. I have been very tearful, and I have really struggled even getting myself out the door to go to one. I've been there. Now I'm at a point in my life where I know what to expect. I know what the news is going to be. I'm kind of over that hump. I've accepted my disability and where I'm at, and now I'm just looking more forward to, okay, what can I do about it? Is there anything out there that's going to help me manage my life and the symptoms? That gives me a little bit of hope, because is there going to be a cure tomorrow? No. Is there going to be like a big bad treatment that's going to allow me to drive? No. But little things along the way still matter enough to me to make me smile and stay hopeful for a good, happy life. So that's where I'm at right now. Okay guys, so I just met with my doctor and we discussed so much stuff. I mean, a lot of things, and I really tried to go in directions that I haven't really gone in previous appointments, and oh my gosh, so many things that I've never really explored. There's 3 main things that we discussed that I have not talked about on my channel nor with a professional on, and that is number 1, supplements such as lutein, CoQ10. I've done a lot of research in how they are great for macular degeneration, but could they help me with Stargardt's disease? We'll see. I'll share her recommendations for me personally and my journey with that. The second thing we discussed were dry eyes. I felt like, some of my symptoms seem to relate to dry eyes, and she said, oh, some people don't produce enough tears, and some people produce it's a quality issue. The quality of their tears is not what it needs to be. And I apparently am in the latter camp, so I'll share more about that in a bit. And then the third thing we discussed were filters. I have never really explored the concept of filters and how they could help in reducing eye stress and strain on my eyes with glare and light sensitivity, even with casually just walking through my home, with light coming in through the windows or reflecting off stainless steel or glass. I love the way she explained it to me about how finding what filters your eyes respond best to, letting the light in that my eyes respond naturally and well with, and blocking out the ones that my eyes don't like and don't process well and are extra sensitive to. And by eliminating those, it could help reduce the overall daily strain and stress on my eyes. So I look forward to experimenting and exploring all of the options and recommendations she's had for me today, and I look forward to including you on the journey as well. But this appointment's not over yet. I'm hoping I'll get to learn a lot more in just a bit, so stick with me. All right, y'all, it's been a few days since my low vision assessment. I just wanted to take some time to process my thoughts and feelings and to also get the items my doctor recommended to me, try them out, and share them with you as well. Before I move forward though, there was also one element in our discussion that I found extremely helpful. It just made sense and clicked with me, and I want to share it with you now in case you also find it intriguing and helpful. If not, please just fast forward a bit to the next section. This, of course, is regarding visual acuities and the confusion and inconsistencies of them from person to person. I asked her why this is. I shared with her an example where a friend of mine, who's also a content creator, we were talking about how we function in different accommodations and how we see, and we seemed to function and sit in the same area on the spectrum of blindness, not too different, yet her measurements are different than mine. And why is that? First of all, low vision assessments are measured differently than your traditional 20/20 Snellen scale, however you pronounce it. It's not done with 20/20, it's done in 5 feet increments, and it also takes into consideration other environmental factors like lighting and contrast. Contrast is a big issue for me. That's what really impacts and brings me further down the spectrum of blindness as far as my acuity measurements go, because it's so poor. But here's how she explained it. Because my contrast is so poor, when I add in accommodations such as backlighting and just having good lighting in my environment and such that brings out higher contrast, that will put me in this optimal functioning level. And yes, it may appear that I'm a bit up the spectrum of blindness than my numbers would indicate, but she is measuring my acuity without those accommodations, right? And so those numbers reflect my usual day-to-day functioning with no backlighting, because let's face it, in the real world, we don't have high contrast and nothing's ever backlit and lighting isn't always optimal, right? And so that's why those measurements are taken in general conditions. But when I add in technology, it can improve my functioning where I seem to sit on the spectrum of blindness as others that do measure a bit higher. And so there's lots of factors that just really skew the measurements, and that's why you don't see a whole lot of consistencies between person to person and their acuity measurements. I hope that makes sense. All right, let's move forward. Oh, by the way, before I do, I just wanted to shout out my shirt. This is my Stargardt's disease. It has my logo in the middle, Seeing Blind Awareness. So Stargardt's Awareness shirt. You can find this on my merch store, also found on my link tree in the description box. Moving on, so one of the things I mentioned that we talked about were supplements, and she explained this in a way that really made sense to me again. She recommended MacuCare specifically, and there's also some that's kind of expensive, and I also found some off-brand things, but there are 3 main carotenoids that she recommended for me, one being lutein and 2 other ones, Lord knows I cannot pronounce them. But if you check out the description box, I will put a link to the idea list on my Amazon storefront that will have this in it for you to kind of view what those 3 ingredients are. And then she explained that combining that supplement with the supplement CoQ10, it is kind of like the powerhouse. So CoQ10 is sort of the activator for the 3 carotenoids. It just allows your body to take them in at higher levels and be more efficient and just absorb more of those carotenoids. So the CoQ10 is sort of the activator, if you will. And that's how she explained to me. I'm going to start taking these supplements. She said I need to give them 90 days, and between those 2 to 3 months, I should know if this is increasing my overall eye health, symptoms, and management of my macular health. And so I'll give you an update. If you have any questions in the future and I maybe have forgotten to revisit this issue, please comment down below and I'll definitely give you a heads up. The next thing I want to talk about are filters. These are not to be confused with tints. For example, These are my sunglasses. I usually always have these on my head, and I have sunglasses tinted gray, green, brown, all kinds of different tints. Sometimes different days, cloudy days, sunny days, whatever, I have preferences for those. But this is different. Filter glasses actually block out specific light frequencies. They're not tinting the view, they're just blocking certain ones out. Very similar to the concept blue light blocking glasses. Those are specifically blocking out specific blue light frequencies that are evidence-based in causing extra stress and strain on our eyes when we're on screens. But when you have a visual impairment, sometimes our eyes develop preferences for other light frequencies, and they just react with more stress and strain to other frequencies as well. And so it's good to experiment if this concept helps you. When I was in the doctor's office, we played around with it, and when she was exposing me to different lights and stuff, I tended to lean more towards the filters that were like amber brown and plums. And so I purchased these glasses specifically from my eye doctor. They are actual filters, not tints. So they are going to actually eliminate frequencies of light. When I put these on, there are two windows in front of me in my room here, and I can already tell when I have these on, I do perceive a decrease of stress and strain and glare, and just the light in the room is a little less harsh to me. And so over time, I'm hoping that with this decrease of strain on my eyes that is so minimal that I don't notice it from moment to moment, but it adds up over the course of day, 2 days, 3 days. If I use them enough, that it will decrease my overall strain and stress, and hopefully symptoms such as migraines and eye fatigue and things like that. Again, I want to advocate how important it is to get a low vision assessment or just get your eyes checked in general. It is so important for your self-awareness and for your eye health, to help advocate for yourself, as well as to learn what new tips, tricks, resources are out there to get the referrals that you need to learn about low vision tools, aids, technology, all that stuff that's ever changing. And it starts with getting and keeping up with your low vision assessments. So just wanted to plug that real quick. Thank you so much for making it to the end of today's video. I hope you found it beneficial. If you have not yet hit the subscribe and the notification bell, please do so. I so appreciate the love and support to help the channel grow, and I will catch you in the next video. Blessings to you and yours.